All right, welcome back to Happy Hour with Heather and Guest, episode number 100. I can't believe it's 100 episodes.
Yeah.
So today, rather than present a new band or musician to discuss, Heather and I thought we would take a stroll down memory lane and recount some of the wonderful events that have happened, how the show originated, how the two of us became friends, all of those things. So
Yes.
how would you like, do you want to start from the beginning and we can both give our takes, or do
Yeah. Why
you?
don't you go ahead? Yeah. Why don't you go ahead and start?
Okay.
And
So from my perspective, I think sometime in 2019, maybe, I was listening to an interview with Matt Bacon. He was discussing um, marketing for independent bands and musicians, and talking about tips that he had. So, having just written my first book, I thought, and that's at a small press that was independent. I thought maybe this guy would have advice for how to market an independent book. So I reached out to Matt, and he gave me some advice, and then I sort of began um, staying in touch with his within his circle, like following people that he knew on Instagram and Facebook, and sort of just staying in that independent marketing world. I think that's how you and I first crossed paths, um, and then you, I think, had offered uh, an opportunity for some. There was going to be like a drawing, and someone whoever won the drawing would get a spot in Matt's upcoming marketing seminar. Um, and I ended up winning. So, and you were going to be in it as well. So that's really how it started for me. Um, I reached out to Matt Bacon. He gave me some advice, and then I kind of stayed in contact with his world, and then won an opportunity to participate in a marketing seminar that he and Curtis and Keefe were going to hold.
yeah. And I I don't remember how I started following Matt Bacon. All I know is I was following him on Instagram. I don't remember how, but I saw a post that he had that he was giving that he was participating in an online marketing class. And I sent him an instant message and I said, well, I'm not a musician, but can I still participate in the class? And he was like, absolutely, you can. So I started participating in their marketing classes, um, because I was interested in trying to, market myself or market my stuff at some point. So
Well, you have an eBay store. I think that when I
yeah,
first met you, that was the reason for joining, was you were going to begin to build your brand, so to speak.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So I had participated in, they had a Facebook class and an Instagram class, and then during, you know, when things were getting kind of tough during the pandemic, for musicians, and I had offered to, I was just trying to think of something that I could do that might be helpful. And so I got with Matt about that and offered a spot in the class. And then, and that class, actually, that class, of all the ones that I took with them, the one that I participated in with you was my favorite one by far, and it was how to build a community. And I don't know what it was about that particular class, but it really resonated with me. And I thought building a community really is what it's all about. And Matt had a like an Instagram, um, I don't know if it was like a chat thing, but it was like where you could go and like everyone would participate and you would go and like and comment on other people's posts, and everyone was doing that for each other. I participated in that for a little bit too. And I think that's really how I had gotten to know you too, was through that, like commenting on each other's Instagram posts and things like that. And that's how I got to know more of the people in the music community and participating with them in these classes. And so that's how it all kind of all how it got started.
Yeah, well, and the first iteration of Happy Hour with Heather and Guest was just your. So one of the projects we had was we had to create a Facebook group, and I forgot what mine was because obviously I haven't kept up with it. But I remember originally you created a Facebook group where people could just post music, what they were listening to and comment on things. And it was just going to be like a message board. Um, and I think that's how it started. And I may have come up with some sort of literature discussion thing. I don't remember. Um, each week, I think we had new assignments for projects we needed to do. Um, so when it was the Facebook section, we had to. One of the things we had to do was come up with a group. Um, and I think this is probably still 2019 or maybe into the beginning of 2020. And then when COVID hit, I think you had the idea to pivot the group into a place where musicians could perform via live stream on using the Facebook group as a platform, um, and it would still be called Happy Hour with Heather and Guest. And I think I may have offered to help you run it.
You did, yeah. You offered to help, and I was very grateful for that because I was I was thinking it would be more fun to do it with someone else, and us doing it together. I thought together we could accomplish a lot more than just me trying to do it by myself. And then I was kind of feeling overwhelmed by the whole thing. So you offering to help really was, I mean, I took you up on it right away because it's just been a great partnership. And uh, your help is, I mean, gosh, the, it wouldn't be where we are today without all of your help and everything that you've done.
Well,
So,
thank you.
yeah,
Yeah, at the time, I had um, so I was still I had a podcast called A Fistful of Faceful that I basically was running by myself, and I would listen to. Um, I would find it eventually became something where I would try to find new bands and play some of their music and sort of give them the spotlight. Um, and during the pandemic, I moved back in with my folks. And also, while I was recovering from my aneurysm, I tried to do a podcast a day to stay engaged. So, but at the time, that had become less enjoyable, just doing things by myself. So, the opportunity to work with someone else was really awesome. And I felt like uh, we complemented each other really well in terms of what we both brought to the table. So I thought it would be a really wonderful opportunity to keep talking about music and have fun, you know, doing it with a partner as opposed to just working on my own. Um, and I think, if I'm not mistaken, Turkey Vulture was the first performance,
Yeah.
um, which
Yeah.
I don't know if I had even if I had helped to set that up in terms of doing the technical side of it yet. I think you may have.
I think Turkey Vulture was they were first uh live performance in the group, and that was before you had come on. So that one we kind of tried to do, Jesse and I, and we got Curtis involved.
Right.
Try to do it on because like I honestly didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how any of this worked. So the three of us together kind of figured kind of
Well,
figured
yeah,
everything out.
there were certainly speed bumps along the way. Um,
Yeah.
Realizing that you needed to use a phone to stream it to Facebook. That a lot of
Yeah.
people tried to use their computer camera, which would always run into problems. Um, I remember at one point, so it started. It was going to be live stream performances from musicians, uh, typically at their rehearsal spaces. Although eventually some bands would perform at a bar that didn't have any patrons, like Black Tar Superstar and Pure Sonic Outcasts would find either studios
Yeah.
or venues. Um,
Yeah.
and at one point, I remember Kenneth Prouty was going to be. We also had interviews. Um, so Kenneth Prouty was going to be interviewed by Jared from. Why can't I think of his last name? The Beholden to the Riff.
Yes.
Um, but they couldn't figure out the setup for the camera, so
Yeah.
that got postponed.
Yeah. I didn't realize. I thought, and see, this is kind of naive on my part. I thought, well, it's Facebook. It can't be that difficult. You
Right.
know, like, isn't this supposed to be user friendly? But oh my gosh, there was a lot of technical things that we and guests that came on had to overcome,
Sure.
which I wasn't really expecting that. I thought you just press the live button and you're ready to go.
Yeah. Well, so the first year of COVID, um, the show, and I remember you asked me. You said, "Do you want to change in the name so that it would be
Yeah.
more?" And I was like, "No, no, no. This is your thing. It's already an established. I mean, an established name as far as you had the group already." And I also liked working out of the spotlight. I was glad to be the and guest. Um, and at one point, we got a nice comment from someone saying, "I love the show with Heather and that other dude." Uh, and so therefore, I would introduce myself sometimes as that other dude. But
Yeah.
the first year I think was mostly just live stream performances, and occasionally I would talk to musicians to do like an interview. Um, and that I think lasted probably till like 2022 maybe, or 2021. Um, Once venues started opening again, uh, there were fewer and fewer people who would need to use the Facebook group as a performance.
Yeah. And I've had people tell me how much they enjoyed those live streams, and how I think it was fun for musicians too, because they could kind of perform, even
Sure.
though it's not in front of a live audience, but they could still perform. It was a chance for them to perform, and we had so many. I am so proud of how many just awesome live streams that we had. I mean, just we had some incredible live streams.
Yeah, if you're curious, they're all on YouTube, either under my channel or the Happy Hour with Heather and Guest channel.
Yeah.
And you can check it. There are a bunch, Grave Next Door performed like 3 or 4 times. Pure Sonic Outcast, Black Tar Superstar. We had an acoustic performance from Titanosaur. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, a lot
We
of
had
really cool.
really great performances. Another memorable one for me was Gates to the Morning sang Happy Birthday.
Yeah,
It was my birthday, so they sang happy that I mean that was fun. It was just so much fun. That to me, the pandemic was kind of a downer for a lot of people. A lot of bad things happened, a lot of but that was so much fun doing those live streams and interacting with the bands, and that was just a lot of fun. I'm so happy that we were able to do that.
yeah, that was great. And then um, a highlight for me during that time, I think, was uh, learning that King Buffalo was your one of your favorite contemporary bands, if not your favorite, and reaching out to them and them agreeing to talk to me. I think you were working at the time, so you couldn't join in. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, that's up on the YouTube too, so that was fun. Um, and then I think during that time that's when the first compilation we put together a compilation of some of the regular performers on the show. Um, so that was fun, and again, all of this we're sort of figuring out as we go.
yeah, yeah.
So we um, we used Bandcamp. I think it's still up on Bandcamp, um, and I'm gonna forget his name, but um, why can't I remember his name? Uh, who mixed it for us and performed?
Uh, oh yeah, yes. Oh gosh. um,
If you give me a second, I'll look it up because I should be the only one forgetting
uh,
this name.
I'm trying to think of it's like the name he used for the mixing, like he uses for the mixing. It's like name
Well, Electric Ring is the name of the one person band that he has that performed.
and it's
Yeah, Tim Burke.
Tim Burke. Yeah,
Tim Burke of Penumbra Sound Arts.
that's what I was trying to think of. Yes. Okay. Yeah.
So yeah, and on that album is Grave Next Door, Turkey Vulture, Electric Ring, Slow Draw, Gates to the Morning, Ghost Hello, Kenneth Prouty, and then Moonlow, which is a Duncan Evans project. So we released that June 4th of 2021. So a little over 2 years ago. But yeah, so it went live stream performances and a Bandcamp compilation. Um, and then about a year later, sometime in 2022, we had the Happy Hour with Heather and Guestable. So we did a live stream music festival. Now that we're on StreamYard, so we upgraded our platform from the Facebook group, um, and that was enjoyable. We had bands from across the pond and in the U.S. going. That was really cool. And then I think soon after that, we decided to pivot again because there were going to be fewer people live stream performing. And that's when we decided to create the show we have in its current format, where we would basically listen to music and then discuss. And I think you and I started out um, picking specific tracks from albums. At first, we would do maybe 3 bands per show. Um, and then you had suggested whittling it down to make it 1 band per show, and we wouldn't be so fixed to talking about specific tracks. So
Yeah.
it's turned out pretty well, I would say.
Yeah, it's been because I believe that the Facebook group was started April of 2020.
Hmm.
So here now it's 2023. Yeah, and that this is now we're on our 100th episode. So
Hmm.
yeah, it's been quite the journey.
It has. And earlier, we talked about discussing some of the some of our more memorable episodes that were suggested by the other person. So I have four memorable episodes that you had suggested. Um, if you want me to go first, okay.
Sure.
So, in no particular order, um, I had Slow Green Thing. I think that was the first time that I think I connected with music in a way where I was just like, yes, this is exactly what I'm looking for. So this is like right in the bullseye. Um, the next band was Pale Horse Pale Rider, and I think a lot of that had to do with the story of the band, and their decision to continue to make music after tragically losing one of the members. Um, and also, they make great music. Let's not take the spotlight off of that. Um,
Yeah.
Similar with the band Buffalo Fuzz, it was another situation where they lost one of the members, but and I don't know if the other member is making music, but the music is really good and should continue to be out there.
Yeah.
So, Slow Green Thing, Pale Horse, Pale Rider, Buffalo Fuzz, and then finally Spiral Shades. I remember hearing the music first and being really captivated by the music, and then learning that the two members have never met each other in person. Um, I think one of them uh, lives in India, and then the other one I think is in Europe somewhere. I forgot which country, but they exchange songs via the internet, and they've released albums. Um, I remember getting messaged by the gentleman from India saying, "Thank you so much for talking about our album. I'm not really feeling 100%. I'm getting over dengue fever." And me realizing, like, oh, okay, that's not what I had expected to hear from a musician. Then I realized he was living in India. Um, and then it wasn't until I guessed whether or not they had ever met each other in person that he commented that they hadn't. So, um,
Yeah.
so yeah, incredible stories of these bands, but more incredible music. I really dug those four. To be honest with you, I've dug all the music you've suggested this past 100 episodes, but
Oh, thank
those
you.
those stuck out to me either because I connected so heavily with the riffs, or because of the stories, or both. So
Yeah.
those were
Yeah.
my four picks going back 100 episodes.
Yeah, and that's another thing too is a lot of bands, a lot of bands that we talk about are smaller, independent, underground bands, and they do have incredible stories.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a lot, a lot of adversity to overcome, a lot of incredible stories. And that, so yeah, the story part of it, I think is just as important as how great their music is. But I picked bands just from this year, and ones that I kind of dug.
Okay,
But Lopan definitely because of the story of
sure.
how much they mean to you, what they mean to you. They're a big part of your story. So definitely Lopan. Black Capricorn because wow. I mean, if you can recommend, I mean, I'm always down for an awesome doom band, and this is just some incredibly heavy doom, and it was awesome. Um, Grotto. Now, I don't typically like instrumental music is not something that I seek out, and I don't listen to a lot of instrumental music. But I'm so glad that you suggested this because wow. Wow, they are absolutely amazing. And just the whole the artwork that they use and their music and just everything about them is absolutely incredible. And then of course I have to mention King Bastard because not only do they have awesome music, but they contacted you and asked to come on our show, which they're the first band that's ever done that. So I definitely have to mention them and how awesome they are.
Yeah, well, those are I would say if you're unfamiliar with our show, um, all 99 episodes that have preceded this have great bands, great music. You'll find something you like. Heather and I have done a really wonderful job. I'll pat myself and you on the back of really diversifying the genres we listen to. Um, we both have favorites, but a lot of the time we'll just find a band that we think is cool and makes great music, whether or not it's in our wheelhouse or not. Um, so yeah, check out any of these bands. Um, I mean, we're going to continue the show forever. I think. I hope. And we'll keep finding. There are tons of bands out there that deserve to be in the spotlight, so we'll keep finding them. Um,
Yeah.
King Bastard, as Heather mentioned, was the first band to reach out to us to ask to come on the show. So if you are a band that would like to do that, whose music we've reviewed already, then feel free to. Uh, and if you're interested in getting your music on the show, just contact us. We're more than happy to do that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah. And this is a passion of, I think, music is something I've grown up with and is I'm very passionate about. So this is kind of a passion project. Uh, so 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 even if we decide, to change the show again and do something different, it's always going to be about the music.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, we're gonna keep on keeping on and
Yeah.
talking about these bands. So
We're going to take a couple weeks off and then
yes,
we'll be back after the new year, back in 2024. We'll
mm-hmm.
be back.
2024 with much more,
Yeah.
many more bands to discuss. So,
Yes, many
but
more bands to discuss. I already have stuff on the calendar, I think, going all the way to April.
yep,
So,
we are all set. Um,
yeah.
but yeah, hit us up if you have music you'd like us to discuss, or you're curious about anything. And also check out Heather's photography, which is available. She has some great 2024 calendars. It's probably still not too late to pick one up. Um,
Thank you. Yeah, and check out Andrew's books. There's a
oh,
lot of
thank you.
them. There's a
Yes,
lot of them.
there
Yes.
are a few. But we'll be back in 2024 with more music to discuss and episode number 101, which I'm excited about. So,
And I have an HHHG t-shirt that I will I think I have one small and an extra large. So if you would like an HHHG t-shirt, hit me up and I will send one to you.
cool. And have a happy holiday and a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2024.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank all of you. And you too, Heather.